Self-introductions have been on my mind lately because I recently moved to a new city. I'll tell you which one at the end of this lesson when I share my own self-introduction example. Can you guess? Well, self-introductions are really useful when you move to a new place, but also for work, for interviews, for networking, for fun and social events when you're making new friends. There are a variety of situations when you need self-introduction, and you can't always prepare in advance like a homework assignment. That's why during this lesson, I'm going to ask you to do a little homework. Put it in the comments and we can help each other to improve our English. Now, one thing that I'm doing to improve my skills is taking a class online with Skillshare. Right now I'm taking a class on Skillshare called Mastering Productivity, Create a Custom System That Works by Thomas Frank. And this is really helping me because as a creative in my work, creating English lessons like this one right here, I have to make sure that I have a good schedule and I stay productive. Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of courses and students from over 150 countries. It's a great place to learn new skills, or even if you're not sure what you want to learn next, you can get inspired by taking a look through the courses that are offered. You can discover new things that maybe you never even knew you wanted to learn, experiment with different topics, and showcase your skills when you turn in homework assignments. Be one of the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description to get 1 free month of Skillshare. I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this English lesson. Now let's start with our self-introductions. So first of all, of course, we need a greeting. This can range from a simple hello to hi, how's it going, what's up, on the more casual end. So hello or good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time of day, are more formal. Good day is not used in North American English, and good night is not used to greet anyone ever. We use it to, well, say goodbye when we're going to sleep. Next is to say your name. When you're introducing yourself, your name is super important, and I want to really encourage you to say your name clearly and slowly. Your name may not be super familiar to North American English speakers, and a huge mistake that I hear international students or professionals making is saying their name so quickly that no one can catch it, and they're embarrassed to ask you to repeat yourself. I am sounds very formal and stilted, so most English speakers will say I'm Gabby. Hi, I'm Gabby. You can also say my name is, but this is a little more formal. It could be used if maybe you're presenting to a group of people or you're in the audience and you're asking a question. Hi, my name is Gabby and I would like to ask a question about da 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 da. If you're on the telephone, because people can't see you, you can say, this is Gabby, but only for the telephone, okay? Next, location. People love to know where you're from. It's one of the first questions they'll ask you. Where are you from? So you could say, I'm from, for example, I'm from Minneapolis. You could say, I'm originally from Minneapolis, especially if you have moved from your hometown to somewhere new, as I have. I'm originally from Minneapolis, and now I'm living in Austin, Texas, in the United States. If you're talking to an international group of people, you might say your nationality. I'm American. Now, one that I don't really recommend is I come from. It's okay, it's not incorrect, but it sounds very unnatural. A phrase I like better is born and raised. I was born and raised in Minnesota. Now I live in Texas. I grew up in Minnesota, but now I live in Texas. You could also say, I've been living in a place, like I've been living in Austin, Texas for about 6 months. Okay, there you have it, the 3 components of a basic introduction. We're going to go on and add 3 more parts for a more advanced introduction, but let's practice this quickly. Your basic self-introduction. A greeting, hi. A name, I'm Gabby. Where you're from? I'm from Minnesota. But this sounds a little strange. If we say these 3 sentences separately, we can put them together into a more natural flow. So let's condense them. Hi, I'm Gabby from Minnesota. Depending on your situation, whether you're doing a self-introduction for professional reasons or for fun situations, you might want to add something more, something about work, something about hobbies, or perhaps a fun fact. So often when teachers are asking their students to introduce themselves, or when managers are asking new employees to introduce themselves, they will ask for a fun fact. We'll get to this later. Sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm going to tell you exactly what to say in this situation. To talk about your work experience, you could say, I work at a place. For example, I work at Apple, I work at Starbucks, or I work for Apple, I work for Starbucks. You could say your position. For example, I'm a manager at Apple, or I'm a manager at Starbucks. Remember to use the article a manager, or I'm an engineer. If you have a profession starting with a vowel, we want to use un, because job positions are countable nouns. So a big mistake is when you just say, I'm engineer. That doesn't sound good. We need that little article. And if there's only one of your position, you could use the instead of a. It's your choice, but if you want to really distinguish that you are the only manager at your place of work, you could say, I am the manager at the place you work. Now, if you don't want to be so specific, you want to leave a little bit of mystery, we can just say, I work in education. I work in marketing. So that's a little easier and totally fine. I work in engineering. I don't need to stress that preposition in. I would say, I work in education. I work in marketing. I work in engineering. So it's very small, but it's there. And if you don't really have work experience yet, you could simply say what you're studying. I'm studying marketing. I'm studying engineering. I'm about to get my degree in education. I'm graduating soon in education. I'm graduating soon from an education program. I'm graduating soon from a marketing program. I'm currently studying courses online with Skillshare. If you want to talk about your experience a bit, you could say, I have 20 years experience teaching English, or I have been teaching English for 20 years, or I've been teaching English for 20 years, or I've been teaching English since, and then you'd say a year or the age that you started teaching English, or whatever the job may be. Now let's talk about family. You might talk more about your family in a social situation, but we certainly talk about them as well in professional situations. So this really depends on you and your stage in life. If you want to talk about the family you grew up in, you could say, for example, we are a family of 5. That means your mother, father, and 3 children. So you could say, I'm from a family of 5, or we are a family of 5, talking about specifically the family you grew up in. I'm one of 3 siblings. If you don't have any siblings, you could simply say, I'm an only child. Now, if you have children, you could also say, we are a family of 5. It could mean yourself, your partner, and 3 children, or it could mean yourself and 4 children. So you might want to specify. Instead of saying, I am married, which you can say, there's nothing wrong with that, but often people will just drop in their husband, wife, or partner in conversation, like, my husband and I moved to Austin recently, or my partner and I came to this city in search of a better quality of life. Let's talk about hobbies, and I'm going to lump it in with a fun fact. Sometimes people will ask you separately, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? We don't usually ask, what is your hobby? This is textbook English. More naturally, we say, what do you do for fun? Or what do you do in your spare time? What do you do when you're not working? And fun facts could include your hobby. It could include something that you do for fun. Now, one thing I really want to mention that we do not include in our self-introductions in North America is our age. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy baking. I enjoy mountain biking. Do not say I enjoy to mountain bike, for example. You can say I like to mountain bike. I like to travel. Like is really safe because we can say I like traveling or I like to travel, but with enjoy, remember, it's just enjoy traveling, enjoy mountain biking, for example. Other ways to say this, I'm really into mountain biking. I'm interested in hiking. I'm a fan of exploring cafes in Austin, but don't say my hobby is, because this sounds like textbook English. Try one of these other suggestions that I've given here. Finally, for a fun fact, you could include your hobby, or you could say something you may not know about me is, or a fun fact about me is, and then include something like a unique experience. It could be a weird like or dislike. How about we put this together, our more advanced self-introduction? I work as an English teacher. My family is just me and my dog. I'm into mountain biking and hiking. And something you may not know about me is that I teach English every week to over 2 million English learners from around the world. Your homework now is to write your self-introduction, and I will be reading the first several comments, and then throughout the week, I'll check back to see more. We can help each other, and I really love when you support each other, correct each other, and encourage each other to continue learning English. You can join a group of over 100,000 English learners from around the world who get these free tips direct in your email. It's never been easier to learn English. Don't forget to connect with me on social media. Thank you so much for connecting. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you here next week. Bye for now. Mwah. My name is Gabby. I am not crabby. Yeah, well, maybe I can think of a better example, but that works for now.